Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
And I want to welcome again the members of the Fourth Estate. Thank you for your endurance and the support that you're giving this country by highlighting everything that we say. And it was upon your effort that we managed to mount a fight and pressure to ensure that the party president was retrieved from the dungeons through the courts of law, now to Luzira. Maybe better that way than remaining in the dungeons where we don't know what exactly was taking place. For those of you who didn't interact with the Honorable Elias Lukwago, I did. And let me report to you that was badly assaulted. Told me clearly that they hit him on the head and even bled from his nose. He was assaulted so severely, and also is not so sure about the kind of meals which were given to him, because as a normal person he had to feed. So it cannot be known whether the meals were safe or not. And I will hurriedly say that I would implore to those people in Mason Bay to do baseline laboratory investigations before they take on Elias Lukwago for his health, because that will be an important milestone in his management after. But we want to thank you very much, those who followed us and who made the reports to the world what was taking place up to the courts of law. This meeting today is not a knee-jerk reaction to what is taking place. You will remember we have always been telling you that we are working around the clock to ensure that we meet with our brothers and sisters in all shades of political opinion in this country, including the progressive forces, even in the NRM. Those people who are tired of what is happening in Uganda, especially the existential threat that has visited this country, which is orchestrated by the military that is taking over the whole of this politics, all institutions of government, including parliament, the courts of law, and all facets of authority within this country. We are taking this opportunity to come to scan the situation at hand and wake up the Ugandan people, to wake up to the realities that are obtaining today. Nobody should blame us for not saying what we knew was supposed to happen. Today, many people in Uganda are so afraid, and they are afraid for their lives. We have been talking to very many people and they fear for their lives. They say, they will kill us. They will kill us. They will kill us. Without even mentioning who is going to kill them. Those who are told that these people are going to kill us, they also keep quiet. Many people have been foiled behind. They don't want to take part in the national debates of things that are going on, especially those involving the son of the president, who has now distinguished himself as a person above law, a person who cannot be summoned by court, and a person who uses the military to intimidate all of us, with an intention to subdue all political actors and to take over the reins of power from his father to himself and rule the way he wants us. He wants to rule. That is an existential threat to the Constitution of Uganda, and the rule of law is under attack. And people cannot be allowed to keep quiet. Even if they wanted to keep quiet, it is our responsibility to rudely welcome them into the fray to fight for our country's constitutionalism and rule of law, for peace and prosperity of this country we all cherish to be in. We invited our brothers and sisters from the sister parties, and they cared. That is why we have the UPC president, Honorable Jimmy Akena, with us here. We have the representative, a leader and member of parliament, Honorable Fungaro Caps, who happens to be the minister in charge of security in Shadow Cabinet. You are much welcome. He's coming from FDC party, Forum for Democratic Change. Then we have none other than Honorable Alice Alaso Asiano, the original Triple A original. Alice Alaso Asiano, Triple A original. ANT, the leader of ANT. Honorable Wadri Kasiano. He's a Mukunja like me. Tetukunja biti tukunja ati. Tukunja ba. And Honorable Angeline Osege, who has given us a very powerful prayer. We also have Honorable Lewis Lubongoya, the Secretary General of NUP. Your coming, albeit at a short notice, cannot be taken for granted. You have come here because you care about the future of our country, and this is only the first of this kind of a meeting. Our hope is that we are going to have a snowball effect. A snowball effect that is going to engulf the whole of Uganda for a practical realization of the existential threat that we are talking about, where a family led by President Museveni, who we don't know whether he's in charge today, because his son, who happens to be the CDF, the Chief of Defense Forces, is taking over the reins of power when he's looking. It is an existential threat, because should a state of emergency be declared today, the CDF would take over, and you will know that you will miss very, very many of us for a very long time in your life, for those who will be surviving. So it is in that respect that we have summoned ourselves to come and address ourselves, to put our act together, and to give hope to the people of Uganda that Uganda can do better. That is why we are here, and we are not going to stop at this. We shall continue with the snowball effect. We hope this is going to raise a ripple effect to ensure that everybody gets involved. You know, as I have described, it's not about political parties. It is about actors in the politics of Uganda, including the leaders in the social atmosphere, the religious leaders, our cultural leaders, including those in the performing arts who hitherto have not been active in the politics of Uganda, because it is our future at stake and we want to put our act together. So this is a clarion call, and it is not going to stop here. It's not about the person of Elias Lukwago, who has been in the dungeon and is now in prison. It's about all of us who are in threat, who have been threatened by arrests, by kidnap, by death, by those who have the power of the gun, who actually we pay with our own taxpayers' money, and they are holding us hostage within our country. With those few words, as an introductory or preamble to this engagement, for which we are so grateful that we are going to broadcast, I would invite the leaders of our political parties in opposition, who happen to be here in all these shades of opinion. And I will begin with the Honorable Fungaro Caps, Shadow Minister for Security, member of the FDC. Please come and address us.
Thank you, Your Excellency, my brother. Your Excellencies, the party presidents who are here, and Secretary Generals of different political parties of the opposition that are represented here, different officers and men of the opposition political parties in Uganda, particularly those who are here, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I salute all of you. Indeed, I am Honorable Fungaro Caps Hassan, Member of Parliament representing Obongi constituency in the Parliament of Uganda. I am also the Deputy President of the FDC, particularly deployed to Northern Uganda, in charge of Northern Uganda. I am the Shadow Minister of Security in the 12th Parliament of Uganda currently. I am also the Chairman of the West Nile Parliamentary Caucus. I'm glad to be here. I speak on my own behalf and on behalf of all these entities that I am associated with. First of all, as Parliament, we are disturbed, we are concerned about these happenings. Generally, the deterioration in the rule of law and constitutionalism. We are concerned about, in specific terms, the recent happenings in respect to the kidnap, the arrest and detention of our brother Arias Lukwago, Lord Mayor Emeritus of Kampala City. Detention first in an ungazetted location or institution. Arrest, first of all, unlawfully by an unlawful security agency. If we start from the very basics, what did the Arias Lukwago do that warranted him to be arrested? Yes, people can do things which are wrong, and the person would be liable to being arrested. But in this case, what did he do? And if he was to be arrested, how was he supposed to have been arrested? And by who? By which entity? Security entity. Leaving aside the matter of what he did, let us go particularly to the process of his arrest. If it was a matter of law enforcement, he would have been arrested by police, the civil police, not even military police. But the armed forces, the security agencies that went to arrest Arias Lukwago, from his home, were not the Uganda police. They were members of the military, UPDF. Now, UPDF has got branches. People are trained and armed and equipped differently for different tasks. The people of the UPDF are grouped like this. We have land forces for fighting on the land that trained differently, equipped differently. We have Air Force, we have Marines, and we have Special Forces. Special Forces are for the hardest of the hard security threats the country Uganda can ever come into contact with. It is an integration of all these forces, land forces, air force, marines, and commandos. Which group of people went to arrest Lukwago? They were not from the land forces. They were SFC. Now, let us go to the basics. Was there a security threat which first of all called for the army to be there? If Lukwago was supposed to be arrested. Now, if the army was called to be there, was it supposed to be the special forces to be deployed there in that manner, in the way they went? This matter brings us to the core of my work as a Shadow Minister of Security. There is a problem of security sector governance. The armed forces of Uganda, the security forces of Uganda are not being used appropriately for the tasks they are supposed to perform in the ensuring of security to the people of Uganda. This is one thing generally we should look at. A problem of wrong governance of the security forces, wrong administration of the security forces. Internally, the security forces are supposed to have organs that take decisions within the army itself, let alone parliament. Parliament is mandated to provide checks and balances, to monitor, to ensure good governance, to make laws for all sectors. That's why we have in parliament committees, including the Committee of Defense and Internal Affairs. We have the Office of the Leader of the Opposition to provide alternatives to the policies and practices of the ruling government. With all this, we have seen that things are not moving well. I would like to summarize by saying this. Let us understand what security is first. Security at the basics means feeling safe, free from fear, threats to your existence as a human being. And security in our context is divided into three. One is known as human security. That is the security of people and their property. The second one is called state security. The security of the institutions of the state, how they function, including the courts of law, including parliament, including political parties. These institutions, how do they work? Are they working well? Or there is something threatening their working? Then finally, regime security. Regime security is the safety of the group in power, the regime in power. In this case, NRM now. NRM feels threatened, and they are right to feel threatened, but they also should have their own mechanisms as an organization to deal with their threats to their survival in power. Now the problem we have here is the state security institutions are taken away from providing services in that area of human security. Ugandans are feeling insecure in very many ways. Security of human beings is not just about military things. There are non-military aspects of security affecting the lives of people. It includes things to do with the service delivery.